talk Tesla.
Now let's talk about the good and the bad and where the stock could potentially going. And I'll tell you at the end of the video what my opinion is. The positives: April, Shanghai lockdowns, that is over. June, Tesla is announcing a stock split. Now we've seen companies react positively to stock splits. Tesla previously, Google. All right, next, the Twitter deal will either be completed by July or it will be off the table. Now, either way, that is positive news for Tesla so that they continue to focus. I guarantee he's going to come in at a lower price. I spoke about it on my live stream Wednesday morning. Twitter was probably around $35. And if Elon comes in, it wouldn't surprise me if he comes back at $42. We all know he likes $420. They have their AI day, their artificial intelligence day, which is always so cool. And that's coming in August. Q4, new gigas for both the US and the UK. They have FS beta release in Q4. Now let's all remember their Cybertruck is finally going to be released in 2023. And finally, $25,000 robo-taxi coming to a city or town near you. Now let's talk about a neutral story. Tesla is building a drive-in restaurant on the ultra cool Santa Monica Boulevard in Hollywood. Now, hell yeah, I think that's creative. The reason I'm calling it neutral is they say it's just another distraction for both Elon and Tesla. Now let's talk about numbers because I love numbers. We'll talk about the car industry as a whole. In Europe, car sales year over year from last year to this year down 20%. Okay, in China, wholesale sales were down 42.9% in April due to lockdowns. Not to mention, Tesla had production delays. Now, rumors were true. Their employees, or a good bunch of employees, were sleeping at their factories. All right, but now let's get to the numbers that I love. Let's talk about valuation. Let's talk about what Wall Street is interested in, which is price to earnings, the PE ratios. What you do, and I'll simplify it, you take the price of a company, for example, $100 a share. You take their earnings. Let's say they make $5 for the entire year. You take 100 over 5, their PE is 20. All right, so let's talk about PEs of SPY companies, companies that make up the SPY, the largest companies in the world: Apple, Google, Facebook. So Google's PE, after going down 17% over the past month, is finally at 19. Their forward PE, which is measuring next year's earnings, is also 19. Facebook, or Meta, which we know has been beaten up, their current PE, 13. Their forward PE is 15. Stick with me, you're going to figure out what I'm getting at. Apple, 22 for their current PE. Their forward PE, 22. And then you get a stock like Shopify that was $750, $800, extremely high on the spectrum. Now it's down at $330. And guess what their forward PE is? It's still 333, 3 digits. So let's look at Tesla, because Tesla's not a Shopify, it's not an Apple, but it lays somewhere in between. So people might say, Tesla, twice as good as Apple, twice as good as Google, 3 times as good as Meta. Let's go off that premise. If it's twice as good as Apple, twice as good as Google, meaning you'll pay twice as much, and 3 times as good as Facebook, the forward PE should be right around, I don't know, say 39 or 40. So Tesla's current PE, after they crushed it last quarter, is 82. That's current, and that's after they crushed it without the lockdowns in China, without the no sales in April in Shanghai. Now their forward PE is 52. So let me bring it down for you. Let's say their forward PE is going to go from 52, where it currently is, to 39 or 40. Like I mentioned, maybe twice the value of a Google, twice the value of an Apple. So we have to go down from 52 to 42. How do we do that? Their earnings aren't going to change. So we have to take this stock price down. Meaning, for that equation to work out, Tesla stock has to drop another 22%, taking the stock down from 640 as we speak to about 495. Now, is that happening today? Not if today is a green day, and it certainly won't happen like that. But the same way that I told you, Shopify was overvalued at 730. If the market is not done throwing up on itself, if the SPY goes to 380, 360, 350 perhaps, like you hear some members of Wall Street speaking, if we enter into recession, then yes, Tesla's going under 500, and you heard it here first.